Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flick Show. My name is Chris Wong. There is a lot of people asking me about the Snyder Cut, and I totally understand that, probably 90% of my viewers, just such as yourselves, want to know more about the Snyder Cut. And believe me, man, I am wanting to know more about the Snyder Cut. I'm just a huge fan like you, and I just really, you can call it obsession if you want, but I really need it. I really do. And it's not just because it'll add more to the movie. It's not just because I'm a Superman fan, Batman fan, that you can add more to it. I think what the studio has done with Zack Snyder and changing it up so much, it's a really slap in the face to an artist. And I've done some art projects in my day. I've done some game projects also, and I am very familiar with people telling me that it's not just to make it better. It's just having the way the story turns out, or how my animation is, in terms of not of technical things, but the story wise and how things should flow, and how one story should be different and things like that. I'm all familiar with having those things change. And so to me, I see the similarities in my own past, and how Zack Snyder is being treated by the studios, and how his stories keep changing. You hired the guy to make this. You hired him to create his Nolan-esque universe. That's right, I said it. Nolan-esque finite story, the five-part art story. If you guys wanted to make the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe but DC, then you should have told him from the beginning, let him just work it out, and then stop him right there. But no, you let him on. You made him work it for years, putting it together, only to just destroy what he has done and try to make something out of it. Try to reboot this universe using his material. If you want to do that, shoot another movie. Just go shoot another movie already. So that's my biggest pet peeve about that is, stealing someone. Imagine your work. You work so hard to make that sculpture or whatever you want to do, or as a chef, you make so hard, you wanted to make your food like this, how it's put on the plate and stuff. The manager comes along and says, well, I'm going to put some corn on that. I'm going to put the drizzle of this. And it's like, that's not what I was making. How pissed would you be? That's exactly what's going on here. And I think more so, I would love to see the Fountainhead, because that is the story of the Fountainhead. The architect making a building. You can... it's not he didn't make it because of the reputation of the author. He's making it because the story matches how he has gone through Hollywood, and many people have gone through that. Even Edgar Wright, through Ant-Man, Rick Famuyiwa, all these different other directors have gone through that. The Fantastic Four, there's so many. Lord and Miller, okay, there's so much. It's a good movie to be put out in the modern times, because it's still happening now in Hollywood, and I think I would totally love to see that. Totally, and it won't do anything, but it wouldn't even send a message. Hollywood will still continue to rip apart directors' works, because these commercial big brand films like DC, Marvel, they're gonna have to. They're always gonna look at it with a magnifying glass and things like that. It will never change, but at least it will put out into light how at least these directors will able to, like Zack Snyder, able to express their feelings, express their frustration in terms of through the medium that they know and familiar, and way to make it. So I'm glad that he's making the Fountainhead for that. So, but no, you want to know about the Snyder Cut? Well, not much more. I noticed Lord Paulus has responded in my last video, and it's kind of weird, like I'm talking to you through the video, but he did respond. But there's something that in here that in that message that he's displayed, and one was that there was Lex Luthor, summoned to Earth by Lex Luthor on the Krypton ship. So that we kind of saw in the ending of Batman v Superman Superman Unlimited Edition, or the deleted scene, Unlimited Edition, where you see that he was talking to Steppenwolf in that, I don't know, was that what was he in? Like some kind of reddish curd thing or whatever, is blood or something. So he was contacted, unbeknownst to him, actually summoned Steppenwolf through the ship. So Steppenwolf is coming. So that's, and you feel that the Justice League and how they would have had more connection to BVS by including more of Lex Luthor. Like, I believe Zack Snyder had included Lex Luthor more and used him more in the movie, aside from the fact that it was just an end credit scene, right? I think Zack Snyder doesn't do end credit scenes, so I believe that he had included him within the film, what he shot. He didn't include the Legion of Doom thing that was shot after by Joss Whedon. That one little shot of him talking about the Legion of Our Own, that was shot by Joss Whedon. But everything else, the ship and stuff, he did shoot. Zack Snyder did shoot. And there was even rumors back then that they were interrogating him to know more about Steppenwolf, because Batman knows that he knew what was going on with the whole ping, 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 the ding, ding, whatever. It just seems more. It just seems smart to go back to that scene, to go back to having Batman realize that Lex Luthor knows a lot more, and have him, or either him or Wonder Woman, go and further interrogate him. And Deathstroke would release him out of that prison, like how it was portrayed in the movie in a way. So that is interesting. The other parts that he talks about in here is the amount of footage, and yeah, of course, a lot of these movies shoot a lot of footage, and they use like a quarter of it, but so 6 hours plus of footage, and that's raw footage material. So, but we know now, well, at least we don't know now, but the rumor it is, especially like even Dave's Film Junkies, his sources says this the final cut is 3.5 hours. I'm hearing 3 hours 10 minutes to 3.5 hours, so it's around that range. It's fine, that's awesome. And of course he reconfirms about the 120 minutes were an artificial limitation made by Warner Brothers CEO to have more sessions per day. We already knew that. The thing that brought it out to me is that the fact that the final movie will be way longer. This is Paula saying, because we will explain more about core characters, which we know, and the whole Mother Box's purpose, what is the unity and why it's important, and it's not just to terraform the planet again. So and that got me on my attention, because as you know, in the trailers before Zack Snyder was gone, a lot of that final battle scene, it was just a blue tinge. There's parademons, and there's some fire here and there. Of course, now we know in the theatrical cut, you see all these weird CG little wormy things that are trying to terraform the planet again, and it's just this gooey mess, and I just thought that was kind of weird to have that. Maybe is he really terraforming again? Because it doesn't really match what Steppenwolf came in the history lesson scene, right, where he comes down and you see that architecture. Like we know now that Zack Snyder was talking about the anti-life equation. It was different, and it's different from what in the nightmare scene, where it's pillars of fire and things. It looks more apocalyptic as opposed to CG'd crystal thingies that's happening, and it just looks so weird and colorful for some weird reason. And we know that effects added after on just to make it more, I don't know what they were trying to do, but it just doesn't match. It doesn't even match the Geiger-esque concept drawings of Steppenwolf with all the little crosses and stuff like that, and the way that it really looked really more of an alien world. So I thought that was kind of strange that in the movie it was terraforming, and the CGI was so bad because it was really put in the last moment and just weird. It's just so strange. And so I believe that part that he was there. The mother boxes was probably more than just unity, uniting the thing. I really believe that he was either trying to call Darkseid or something to do with Darkseid, and or the anti-life, or maybe even there's rumors that they cut out a whole darker Superman scenario, and so there's a little bit of that as well, and I really believe there was more to that. So, and it just brought to my attention, remembering the scenes in the Justice League trailer where the battle scenes just look totally different from how it was portrayed now. So I thought that was quite interesting. But that is Lord Paulus, and I don't know, he might respond to this video with a little bit more interesting tidbits. He was right about Batman. Ben Affleck is still Batman. Were allegedly still Batman, and before the trades picked it up, so that is quite interesting as well. He even talked about re-releases, and I might have been mistaken that he was the one that said there was going to be a re-release in November. I have heard from other people about a November re-release, and then other people have talked about that as well. So I don't know, that could be, they all could have heard the same rumor, but I'm just letting you know what people are talking about. That would be a dream come true. I don't really buy into it because it sounds so incredibly true, and a dream that I would have, and I'm afraid to wake up from it. So, but something interesting happened today, and I want to thank. Hold on one second. I was gonna say, Majin Goku, but I'm sure he has a real name here. Hold on a second. Oh, he is Majin Goku. Okay, I thought he had. I'm sorry. I thought you had an actual name, but yeah, Majin Goku Black. Thank you so much for bringing this to our attention. It is a little video. I guess Grace Randolph, who was on a Twitch session or something, talked about a little bit about the Snyder Cut. And Grace Randolph, just a little bit of background. She is not exactly a major trade. She's pretty much a YouTuber in a sense, but I think she's done a little bit more of that. She's actually, able to, she's in upper echelon of, a higher standard. She's more into the industry than we are. Like in the cases, like she's been to the sets and things like that. She's done those actors and actresses interviews and stuff like that. I believe last year or the year before, I forgot, she was with Charles Roven. Charles Roven showed her things around, and I remember she saying she couldn't say anything. She's under NDA. So she had pictures of that as well. So she's up there, Grace Randolph. Interesting. Very open when she talks. If she knows something, she just openly says things like that. And she defended Batman v Superman and things like that. She loves Marvel as well. She hosts the Beyond the Trailer video, creator of Beyond the Trailer. She does the movie math, and I am subscribed to her because she does say some interesting things about things that about Star Wars and stuff like that. So I like to listen to it once in a while. She goes off the weird beaten paths here and there. Although there was one time, it was very interesting, where she had a real fight with John Campea, Christian Harloff, and Andy Signore, and we know what happened to Andy Signore now with all that sexual harassment. But it's interesting. So she's more in the upper echelon, right? So those types of I don't want to say people, because I don't want to say things like that, but that upper tier don't really recognize anything about us Snyder Cut fandom, right? They don't want to talk about it. They're really silent about it, or they say things like it doesn't exist. You guys are nuts or crazy. But she said something interesting. So in in her review, and she did a spoilers review for Justice League a long time, when the movie came out. And then she did mention that she would one day, she was like, what happened to all that lost trailer footage? She brought that up, and she says that she's seen things that she can't talk about because she signed an NDA. And I'm assuming that was the sets and all the concept art and things like that. That why is that in the movie or something? So she would love to, if there's a Snyder cut, she would love to see the Snyder cut. If there was a Snyder cut. If there was a director's cut. So she kind of left that plain and, simple. But today she went on Twitch, apparently from Majin Goku Black, and he did a little really cool video. I retweeted it out if you want to check that out. But she talked to someone, asked her about the Zack Snyder cut. And, she paused for a second, and then she says, she can't talk about the Snyder cut. Sorry, she can't talk about it. So I was like, okay, that's why. Why can't you say what's going on? So, and then she mentions, now let's just be clear, I have not seen the Snyder cut, but there's people that she knows, right? There's people that she talks to who are familiar with it. And that's all she can say. She can't say any more about that. Those people are familiar, tell her from time to time, and they talk from time to time about that. And that's it. She'll leave it at that. So now, a couple things. First, it's Grace Randolph that's saying that. Upper echelon, more higher than us. Not exactly, the Hollywood Reporter or anything in variety like that, but the upper echelon. Okay. She's talking about the Snyder cut. She says it's the Snyder cut. Now this is a lady who will openly say what's on her mind. She's not afraid to back down. If she's gonna say something does not exist, if she's gonna say thinks that something's crazy, she'll say it. She'll say you're crazy. Well, that doesn't. I can tell you that and laugh at you. Okay. But the fact that she did not laugh at us, she didn't say it does not exist, and she actually says the Snyder cut she cannot say, meaning she knows more she cannot say, and it's a current thing. She's not talking about before. In her review, she says if there was a director's cut, she would love to see it. She didn't say if. She is mentioning the Snyder cut as it exists. So that is claims of existence right there. I believe so. And she knows people because she's in the upper echelon of the industry. Okay, she knows Warner Brothers people. She used to work for Disney. In fact, was it Disney or Marvel? I forget. I think it was Disney. And so she knows people in the industry. And for her to say that, I think is a huge thing. For once, someone in the upper echelon, other than the cast and crew, other than Zack Snyder, a third party, if you will, in the media trade, and I don't know, she might even be in the media trade for all I know, but she's not me. She's not a film junkie. She's not saying that we're not that great, whatever. But she is in the upper echelon in terms of the industry, right? In terms of recognition in the industry, that she is saying there's a Snyder cut, and she is implying that she's heard it from time to time, and she cannot say, she cannot talk about it because there's an NDA. For whatever reason of an existence of Snyder Cut. Now, how is this different from other movies, right? Let's look at, remember Suicide Squad came out, and we know that was tampered with, the trailer music and stuff like that. David Ayer did not fight that. He did not. He implied that he didn't like the decision later on, but he came out and said it on Twitter. That's the movie I made. That's exactly how the movie I made. He played ball. He played ball with Warner Brothers, and they did that. So, and then they released the extended edition, stuff like that. So, if you want to clamor for the David Ayer cut, I'm fine with that. But later on, he tells us the story about what could have happened and things like that. What should have happened, right? He was kind of more open about it than Zack Snyder is. Zack Snyder is hinting at things. He's throwing teasers and things. He didn't openly come out and say that movie that you've seen in theaters is my cut, even though his name is on it. Right? He did not say. He did not admit that that movie is coming out, and he's not even saying no to the Snyder Cut. He keeps posting about believe. There's hopeful, whatever parts of that. Warner Brothers themselves are not saying that there is no Snyder Cut, right? They're not saying there's this, wait, there's not they're not saying that there is no Snyder Cut. That's what I said. They're not telling us to give up. They're not saying Zack Snyder's movie is that movie right there. Okay? That the silence is our answer. The silence is telling. That is our answer, the silence. And I hope now, I hope it gets more open out there. Maybe the trades will pick it up. I don't know. I don't think so. I think there is a giant secrecy of and applying disinformation, and so these trades don't pick it up. Their sources are not probably being told not to talk about it as well. There's even there's embargoes that we don't even know, and that's why they're embargoed. So we don't know, right? Remember when just recently where Kiersey Clemens was gonna announce that she's still Iris West on that show, what was it, Conan O'Brien show? BatmanNews.com got wind of that and he put it out, and then Humberto Gonzalez, El Mayimbe, says, that's under embargo, right? And he's like, well, not for me. And he's like, all right, you're just a social channel. So and that's the ego there, because these guys know so much, but they cannot say. They are embargoed themselves. Even for a little thing like Kiersey Clemens going to announce that she's still Iris West was embargoed. That information is embargoed. If there's an NDA on that, imagine what else is out there, okay? Imagine what they're not telling us. That's what I want to tell you. That's what I want to say. So if you're not hopeful for it, have some hope for it. I do. That this silence is telling. There is nobody out there that plainly writes down, unless we get an article tomorrow that says from Variety, from Deadline, from the Hollywood Reporter, Warner Brothers issues a statement, there is no Snyder Cut. Until we get that, we can continue to hope, and we can continue to pray, and we can continue to talk about it until Warner Brothers finally releases the Snyder Cut. All right, guys. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.